All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our second annual track walk here at Matterley Basin for the 2024 Motocross of Nations. I did this last year, got a lot of views. We got Alex Kelly here taking some photos. Alex, who are you shooting for this weekend?
Cycle News, MX Store.
No big deal. I'm shooting for Big MX Radio because, you know, that's how it goes. But, okay, right off the start, you have an immediate drop. Tough to really see the pitch of how much you're falling coming down here. It's got to be at least 8-10 feet. You go straight into the start straightaway here into a very tight first corner. Let's head on over there and check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the first corner of Matterley Basin. A couple of teams already checking out the track to see where they might want to navigate this first corner. Start your bike in second gear, drop down, pick a few gears before you get to this progressively tighter first corner. Races are won and lost right here at Matterley Basin. Yeah, the slope does change from one side to the other, and honestly, the inside gate, I don't think that's the gate that you want. Like, you're gonna get pinched off quick unless you got a jump and a half. All right, so once you've navigated the first corner, if you grab a hole shot, this is what you're gonna be looking at. This is the mechanics area, so you're gonna go by them once a lap as you normally would. And if you're getting an issue, you're gonna come right into the paddock pit lane right there. This is a straightaway. There are no obstacles on this whatsoever. Grab some gears and hopefully you race away from the rest of the pack. All right, so you've navigated that long straightaway and hopefully got some good news from your mechanic that you've got a 10-second lead. Then you head into this ski jump heading down into a very tricky section here. This is wide open. You're gonna probably gear down a little bit and prepare yourself to head down into this off-cambered area where they're currently working. Got some Yamaha kids getting excited, maybe a little bit nervous too. Like I said, wide open, but don't hit this like Henry Hill or otherwise you'll end up in the weeds. This is launch to the bottom, maybe rip around the outside or hug the inside over this double right here. So you send it on down, as a couple of 125 kids just said. You just send it into this. There is a small bermed corner there. I'm not sure if you can check that out, but this is a small double right here. And as you can see, this is freshly tilled up, basically like big loaves of bread. I can't explain it any other way. Which I think is going to turn into a very rough track. These 125s, 65s, and 85s for the Yamaha Challenge are going to be challenged to the nth degree. Although the nice thing about this double is that there's nothing on the other side of it. So grab some gears. And if you're brave out after the races, you can grab some beers afterwards too. Did I say it right, Alex?
Grab gears, then grab beers.
Killer. I thought trench warfare was long since done, but apparently the photographers actually have to go through here in order to get to the other side of the track. Pretty interesting. Trench warfare is back here in England. So let's say you've cleared that double. There is a small rise right here on the inside of this corner. You probably can't see that from the video, although it's the only spot that's not sort of tilled up. You're either going outside and heading into these rollers. You're probably going double-double. There is another like raised section on the inside, so they're making it difficult for you to just go inside everywhere. If you're on a 125, you're probably just pinning it on the outside up this hill. It's not overly steep, even though I am out of breath just walking it, but that says more about my fitness than it does about the steepness of this particular section. So at this point in the lap, you're probably wondering if there are any steep jumps or really anything large features on this racetrack. And I got news for you, because coming out of this corner, and this is deep soil, my goodness, look at this. Like the tractor tires digging deep. I can imagine how like the motocross tires can do the exact same thing. But this tabletop here has been here for a long period of time. It's kind of like I wouldn't say a main feature, but I don't think it hasn't changed in many, many years. This tabletop here, you're gonna race to the top of this thing wide open. Hopefully your second, third, fourth gear, even on a 450. As I'm losing traction. I'm also losing my breath. It's not an overly big jump. You are coming up a hill though. Ascending it and then down the hill. So let's assume you chuck the bike all kinds of sideways coming off of here, and then you're gonna get on the binders right away. If you're gonna be on the inside of this corner, there is a raised section, as there pretty much is on all the insides of these corners, or you're ripping around the outside. As you can see here, there's a small drop off the inside of this corner and head down into this downhill double. This double looks to be a little bit tricky because you're gonna head down into it with a ton of speed, and it's not that great in distance, maybe 60 feet total. Alex is doing his best impression of a mountain goat as he navigates his way across the track. All right, so here's your perspective off the takeoff of this downhill. I guess it's not really much of a double, but it is a downhill tabletop heading down into this off-cambered corner. And that's not really a jump either, as much as you're probably gonna scrub that, and then you have a couple of options through this corner, much like you do with a lot of the other corners here at Matterley Basin, into a small downhill tabletop, head back up the hill towards some rollers. As I repeat, over that downhill tabletop into these rollers, these kind of things are gonna get rutted, as the tractor's also already made some ruts coming into this corner. First thing I noticed about this section right here, very narrow. This is not a spot where you're gonna gain up a whole lot of ground on someone unless you are doubling through these while somebody else is rowing through them. Keep in mind, Motocross Nations, you have a huge disparity, or maybe a big diversity of talent and speed. Some of these guys race locally in the country that they came from. Some of these guys race in the MXGPs. Some of them race the AMA Nationals. It's a lot of different racing series coming together on one racetrack, so be aware. All right, so once you've navigated that right-hand corner, you're gonna head into what looks like a double, but it's not, because this is a very mellow set of rollers. Maybe you send it to the first one, maybe you send it to the second one. I don't think you're going to the third one, unless your name is Eli Tomac and you're just going complete beast mode. These things, peak to peak, they look to be about maybe 15, 16 feet apart. Sit on the back fender and let her eat. Right, Alex?
I think you're like 25 feet apart.
You think, like, you're gonna eyeball that?
Yeah.
So if you make it through the rollers and you're still on the gas and you're worried about making the corner, don't worry, because they have inside berm and outside berm. It's basically a wall that you're rolling into. We're gonna get some track work going on still here. Gonna manicure the landscape of this beautiful track. Alex pointed something out. The stuff on this section here, coming on the outside of that corner through the rollers, it's way easier. Like they're way more beat down along here, so that's going to be the faster line. If that is true, you'll be heading into the inside of this corner here and heading up that hill. And this is not a small separator. This thing's big, that they've separated the inside from the outside. Obviously you're going to the outside, a little bit more real estate, but that does set you up to be on the inside of the next corner as you head up toward that excavator is. Hey man, I'm walking here. Clearly the memo didn't get out that I was gonna do my track walk video, but when you come into this corner, maybe one of the widest spots here at Matterley Basin, that straightaway is nothing to sneeze at. You got the crown molding around the outside of this corner into, looks like a small tabletop. More of a jump that you're probably gonna scrub some speed off of. I could see some passes happening here actually though, because if someone's ripping on the outside and someone happens to come in with a little bit more speed on the inside, that berm is hard as a rock. That thing's been there for quite some time, maybe as long as the truck's been around here. So you're gonna be able to pinch somebody off, square it up, and not worry about if you have enough speed for this jump because it's quite small. Like I said, this jump isn't really, I guess this is just a face really, so it's a ski jump. Send it as far as you want or can, I suppose, or get your wheels back on the ground. This off-cambered section, which I'm not gonna walk the entire thing, you're gonna head down into this corner, probably hugging the inside to inside here, as the track sort of snakes along the countryside here in England, heading down into that tabletop. Let's go check it out. All right, so we got some 125 pilots from Sweden checking out the track, checking out some lines. A young lady and a couple of guys. Where are we thinking, guys? What's the good line selection here?
Most insides.
Insides?
Yeah.
Just send it.
Yeah,
Keep it wide open. Who do we have here?
Sander Sommerli. Nelly Fransson.
All right, who out of the three of you is going to win over the weekend?
Me.
Oh, anything to say about that?
Nah, I think we'll wait and see.
Okay, and for yourself, young lady?
I don't know.
That's a lot of confidence. I like it. 125, they'll also all be on equal power heading down this jump. Who's going to hit this jump first out of the three of you? That one?
Me too.
I like it. All right, so those kids just made a Boreas Salming reference, which I was very impressed with. The fact that that guy was done his professional hockey career about 20 years before they were even born really speaks volumes to how great of a hockey player he truly was. So you head into this double here. Face is pretty gnarled up. You can send this thing down. Huge landing on it, so your options are pretty much limitless. You head down into this right-hand corner. Leave her wide open on the outside, or tuck her on the inside and make up some time. So Alex, taking photos from this particular jump, are we thinking like inside, outside? Are we going near the Ram advertisements? Of course, like I think it's funny that it's a Ram advertisement given the fact they're banking on a lot of Americans watching this.
We're shooting everywhere.
We're shooting everything?
Yeah, everywhere.
From both sides?
Both sides.
Wow, every angle.
Same time.
Alex, that's not possible, Alex. Now you're just clowning with my audience.
Remote triggers.
That's how much respect you have for the biggest Big MX Radio faithful.
Remote triggers.
It's bullshit. Launch the tabletop. By the miniature version of those Swedish kids, you can tell how long that jump is. Maybe the biggest jump on the track. Heading down into that left-hander, and then head up towards this. This is an uphill section. Heading up to an uphill triple. This is pretty gnarly. This is quite the send. Although you have like 1,000-meter run up to it. So if you're not jumping this thing, get real. As you head towards the finish line, we're almost done a lap here at Matterley Basin. So let's just assume you absolutely sent that uphill triple into this corner, which can only be described as two words: hard pack. Off-camber, hard as a rock. Although it is a little bit slimy right now because they've experienced some rain. And hopefully you're leading. Hopefully you're on a team that whoever's watching this, hopefully your guy is seeing this for the very first time. Maybe it's Team Latvia, maybe it's Sweden, maybe it's Canada. Dylan Wright could probably lead a lap here, no problem. We'll see. Alex is ahead of me, so he's taking the first to the finish line. But got a finish line double and crown some champions here at Matterley Basin. Let's get up there. Now this is a feature you don't see too often there, Alex. A finish line double. You come up short on this thing, you're hurting. I can easily see a couple of those kids on the 85s or the 125s coming up short on this thing. Not happy whatsoever. Gotta be 60, 70 feet. The sweet spot of the landing's not until like there. And they got another big tabletop featuring the only tunnel for photographers like me and Alex to navigate our way around the track. All right, after the finish line, you've completed a lap. You send this big old tabletop, fourth gear wide open, hit and send, throwing it out sideways for all the VIP fans who paid a little extra to watch you do it. And head back down into the start straightaway. You land wide open on the gas, tight right-hander, off-camber downhill, rejoining the start straightaway, and that's a lap here at Matterley Basin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, I hope you enjoyed this year's version of the track walk here at Matterley Basin 2024 Motocross of Nations. This place is absolutely gorgeous. I'm your host, Brad Gebhardt. If you could do me a favor, subscribe if you like this content. Leave a like, a comment if you'd be so kind. That always helps grow the channel. And hit that notification bell so you never miss a video on Big MX Radio. You can also follow along on Instagram. And for myself, as well as Alex, who basically just like became part of this video whether they wanted to or not, thanks for watching.